All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something that's way more than just a grammar rule. It's a complete shift in mindset, a totally new way of looking at English that could, honestly, fundamentally change how you speak and understand the language. You ever feel this? I mean, you know all the words, you've got the grammar down, but when you actually speak, it just doesn't sound quite natural. It sounds a little stiff, a little bit like a translation. Well, there's a really good reason for that, and it's a problem that goes way deeper than just your vocabulary.
And here it is. This is the heart of the issue. A lot of other languages are built to describe the process of doing something, the action itself, the movement. But native English speakers, they often just skip right to the end. They're way more interested in describing the final condition, the resulting state of an object.
So this is what leads us straight into what I call the translation trap. When you're thinking in a language that's all about actions, you try to find a word-for-word match in English. You end up describing your movement when the English sentence you're aiming for is actually trying to describe the outcome. It's like you're playing a different game. So how do we fix this? How do we get out of that trap? Well, we need a new tool, a new way of seeing things. I want you to think of it like putting on a special pair of glasses. We're going to call it the state lens, and it's going to let you see the hidden logic that's inside almost every English sentence. And this brings us to our big idea, the state mindset. It's pretty much exactly what it says on the screen. You're just shifting your focus from the action to the result. So instead of thinking about the motion of cleaning a room, you start thinking about the room being clean. It's a really subtle switch, but man, is it powerful. It's moving from the how to the what. Okay, let's put this new lens to use. I'm going to show you how to develop a kind of X-ray vision. This is going to let you see a hidden sentence that exists inside thousands of common English expressions. And the crazy part is, it's been there the whole time, right? In plain sight. Okay, look at this super simple sentence. I kept the room tidy. On the surface, the main action verb seems to be kept, right? It feels like it's all about what I did. But that's not actually where the most important information is hiding. And boom, with our X-ray vision, we can see the secret sentence that's embedded right inside, the room is tidy. That's the core message. The verb kept is really just the delivery truck. Its only job is to tell you that I was the person responsible for making sure this tidy state continued to exist.
And that realization we just had, that little trick with the word tidy, that is the absolute secret to solving one of the most confusing choices for any English learner. When do I use an adverb and when do I use an adjective? It's not just some random grammar rule. It's a choice of perspective.
Okay, let's break this down. When you say, I hold it carefully, the adverb carefully is describing your action, how you're moving your hands. But I have it secure is totally different. Here, the adjective secure is all about the object's condition. It's not about how you're holding it, it's about the fact that the object is secure as a result.
And in fact, here's a little language trivia to back this up. The word secure actually comes from a Latin word that means undamaged. So when you say, I have it secure, you're not just describing what you're doing. You're actually making a declaration about the object's state. In my possession, this thing is undamaged.
Now, this same logic works for physical versus abstract ideas too. If you say, aim your arrow high, you're describing a physical state, a literal position in space. But in a sentence like, it is highly valued, highly describes an abstract state, the degree of its value. It's the difference between a physical position and a conceptual one.
Oh, this is a perfect example of this in action. Saying, you got the facts wrong describes the state of the facts. They are incorrect. It's a status error. But saying the funds were wrongly allocated describes the process of allocation. The method itself was incorrect. See that difference? It's state versus method.
And get this mindset isn't just limited to simple adjectives. It works with past participles too. When you say, I have the project finished, the focus isn't really on the action of finishing it. No, you're describing the project's current state. The project exists, and its status is now finished.
So let's tie all of this together. Let's wrap it up into one powerful, memorable idea that you can actually use. I like to call it the snapshot principle. It's probably the simplest way to remember the state mindset. So here's your practical guide, your mental checklist. First, always try to find that hidden sentence. Does the object is the state actually make sense? Second, just ask yourself, am I talking about my movement
Or am I talking about the object's condition? And third, just remember that this state can show up in lots of forms, not just plain old adjectives.
This is probably the best way I can think of to explain it. To sound more like a native speaker, you have to stop trying to shoot a whole movie of your actions. Instead, just take a picture. Show them the final snapshot. Don't describe the entire process. Just present the clear, final image of the result.
So, if you only take one single thing away today, let it be this. You have to train your brain to stop asking, how am I doing this? And start asking, what state is the object in because of what I did? That one question. That's the key. That unlocks everything.
So the next time you're about to describe something, just pause for a second. Look for the snapshot. Look for the resulting condition. What state are you going to focus on and describe first? I promise you, the answer will change everything.